I don't even
Back-to-back
know where
weeks,
we
take
were.
two.
Yeah, back-to-back weeks, take two.
Me too.
Welcome to episode 4.
Episode 4, right? Season 3?
Yeah. Season
All
3.
right.
Yeah. But yeah, I know we were talking about how we were up late last night with Neil, going over some
Yeah.
finale stuff. It was busy.
Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, we'll get into that more as the season progresses, and obviously, we've talked about now the new finale 3D tip of the week that we're going to be doing on Fridays. So really looking forward to that, and I'm sure that's going to be one of the tips.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But
Yeah, that was
the
pretty killer.
audio delay from where your crowd is sitting to the fireworks, there is a setting in Finale 3D. You need to unclick it. That was so helpful last night.
Yeah.
So
Whoa.
It accounts for the speed
Yeah.
of sound delay.
yeah. So
That's cool.
like if you're trying to match up, say like a ground bomb to a beat, like you can set where your crowd is. You can put your person
The
there.
distance.
Yeah, and then move your cue over, and it'll account for the distance and the time of the delay of sound.
That is
So,
fancy.
Yeah.
That's super nifty.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and then some
Share
of
a
the
screen grab of that one.
yeah. But yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff from last night.
Yeah. A lot of cool stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys are not keeping me till 1:30. I'm gonna tell you.
No. No.
That was like after the show recording. That was
Yeah,
like
that was after.
yeah, we
Yeah, I think
recorded, then we went over to Discord and hung out in Discord with Neil for 4 hours.
I think it was 4.5 hours last night.
I'm like, I'm just gonna tell you, no one's listening to that 5-hour recording.
No, it was not recorded, so
And it wasn't even recorded. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, otherwise everything been going well for you guys?
Yeah. Yep. So
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Staying busy.
Yeah.
Way too
You
busy.
guys are Midwest people, right? It's been
Yeah.
weird weather-wise. Like
This has
one day
been
was like
ridiculous.
70s, and then
Yeah.
I don't know. Last week was like snow, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had freezing rain last night here. I
We're
mean,
getting it tonight. Yep. So yeah,
For those of
insane.
you not in the Midwest, it is cool to talk about the weather when you're in the Midwest. It is
Yes,
actually
it
a
is.
cool
It's the thing to do.
that's the thing
It's
to do.
it's like an icebreaker, right?
When you can't think of anything else to say, you have to ask them how the weather's going.
I'm gonna hit this intro and
right.
get going.
On that note,
Hello and welcome to another episode of Pyro Unleashed. Tune in weekly as Donnie and David discuss all things pyro, from the business aspect of the industry to technical tips and mesmerizing pyro designs. On Pyro Unleashed, we invite cutting-edge experts to the podcast to discuss their role in making this industry a success. So, sit back and unleash your inner pyro with us.
I think that's the first I've seen that video of your intro. It's slick.
It's new. Yeah, it's very new.
yeah,
Yeah.
this year, yeah.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
yeah, we're trying to class up a little bit and not have mumble jumble
Improve the
videos.
production quality. Production, up in the production quality.
MS Paint graphics.
Yeah.
Graduated from that.
We blew all our money on marketing this year
Yeah.
on our
You won't see
graphical design budget.
Donnie at half the events because he spent all of his money on the graphics. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Tries a fireworks shortage. We had to give all the fireworks.
Yeah.
That's how you're funding this podcast. Fireworks.
Doing the opposite. We're giving things away to get.
We'll trade you pyro.
If only it was a joke. No.
But yeah, season 3 sponsor Cobra.
Yes, sir.
Cobra's. CobraCon's coming up. So
It is.
CobraCon April 10th through 12th, Muncie, Indiana.
Yeah.
We're getting excited, I think, for that. We have a show that's full in, prep time and getting stuff ready to go, and
Yeah.
really, really excited about it. We've seen some of the other concepts that we're going to be mixed in with the show, and
Yeah.
excited to see how those are going to kind of interact.
Things are moving along with prep. I know
Yeah.
2/3 of the product is pulled. Well, by the time this airs, you'll have been here and I think
Been
be
there,
back
been gone.
home. Yeah, been
Yeah.
gone. and hopefully we'll have a lot of prep done. I think we're up to, I don't know, 17 people going to be here that day, that Saturday.
That's good. Be good.
So trying to get as many as we can.
Yeah.
A lot of hands make light work. I know I just paraphrased that, but. But anyways,
Are you guys
yeah.
doing the big
do what?
finale, big show, the big
We are.
finale, or
Yeah.
We're doing the finale.
awesome.
Yeah, the closing display. Yeah.
Are you going to be at CobraCon, Sam?
I am. I don't
Are you?
think I made
You
it
are?
to the last couple, but I'm excited to come back.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Muncie. Yeah, I don't know, 76 always goes, and
Yeah.
it's a good time. It's really
Yeah.
good weekend. I'm glad it's not a full week. I think the first or second year that they did it was like a full week. I'm glad that like it's like, okay, this is just one weekend, like a long weekend of just learning
Yeah.
stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah. If you want to learn more, go to cobra-con.com and get your tickets. I think they're
Tickets.
like $250. I mean, to be
Yeah,
able
I think
to hang
the early
out
bird
with.
price. I think the early bird pricing is over. I think at this point it's just
it's-
regular
it's gone.
pricing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think we'll be. I mean, I don't even think. I know it's going to be a great time. It's going to be.
It's gonna be great, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, come out, see us. Join us in our classes that we're teaching. There's a lot of great classes going out there. Go and join a boot camp if you want to get some hands-on experience. It's an opportunity to go out and be able to play with fireworks.
Yeah.
I hear there's a really awesome company sponsoring the boot camp too.
The rumor has it.
Get your hands on some good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can chat about that here in a little bit for
Yeah.
sure. Actually, you know what? Yeah, go ahead and let's spill the beans on it. So, do you guys have a list of what you're taking, or is that still all kind of hush hush? No. Come on, we're only 2 months away, right?
We got Winter Blast first to deal with.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then,
yeah, yeah.
Then we'll do that because we got
Yeah, that's
shit out
right.
there. But we
Yeah.
just throw whatever's not selling. No, that's not true. We take some of our absolute best stuff to CobraCon to give away.
Yeah, most
to
definitely.
the boot camp,
Yep.
as well as some of our clearance items.
Yep. Nothing wrong with it.
It's all
Yeah.
good. It's all good stuff.
Yep.
No, it's a really good opportunity to let people get hands on with some of that stuff. I think it's pro line and consumer as far as
Yeah,
I know.
I believe so.
Yeah. So Peter usually leads the charge on that. That's our VP of pro line, and he's really knowledgeable. And so yeah, it's a good opportunity. You guys should. Anyone listening should go and sign up for the boot camp. There's also a lot of really good seminars that they're doing as well at CobraCon.
Yeah. You know what, Donnie? Let's see who gets more people in their class.
There's more people in the class. I
Yeah.
Or
mean,
do you have a
see.
competing class? Is it at the same time at the same
It's actually
day?
not. They're 15 minutes apart.
yeah, they're kind of back to back. So
I'll
Room-
ask Scott Smith to fix that.
Uh-oh. No, we got to have them both on Thursday because we need Friday and Saturday empty.
Yeah. Yeah, for prep.
Because I think I was talking to Jonathan a couple weeks back, and I think we're both edging to both of us might have to use the big class, the biggest room. So
that'd be nice.
Oh,
That'd
so
be
you
kind of cool.
can't
know.
go at the same time anyway.
No, we can't. Yeah. No, we might
Damn.
literally both be teaching in the same classroom.
I mean, it's good news for me, right? Because they'll go to your class and they'll just hang around and
Just
come to my
stay for
class.
yours.
So
Yeah.
and then I'll get additional people that come in and want to see me. So
Right.
yeah,
Sure.
that worked out
I
perfect.
mean, I know
timing,
I'm
that.
planning on coming to your class because I don't know how to do towers.
I don't know.
But so Finale 3D is another one of our sponsors. Finale 3D is the world's most powerful fireworks and special effects designing software. Finale 3D is built for the real world, whether you're working with pyrotechnics or DMX special effects. Automatic scripting, sequencing, and addressing features get you ready for the show in no time. Want to thank Drew and Neil for their support in helping us. Obviously, Neil was on with us last week, and can't say enough about that. And then I'm guessing the week that this airs will be our first or second, or
I don't know.
there'll be
That's good.
one. I don't know.
At this
We'll figure
point,
it all out, right?
you should have seen
should
a
have
Friday
seen
tip
a-
probably. Probably should have seen a Friday tip at this point.
I would think so. I think you should have
Yeah.
seen one already. So
It's a problem with recording these a little bit early at times. We don't
yeah, I
know
know.
what's
Right?
It's kind of a double-edged sword,
right.
but yeah. So there's that.
So I mean, yeah, let's start and introduce our guest. I
Most
guess.
definitely.
I mean, not everybody knows who this is.
Yeah.
So we have Sam Christensen. Most of you will know her from Spirit of 76.
Yeah.
A lot of other marketing stuff. So yeah, I mean, introduce yourself and who is Sam? Like,
Who is Sam? Yeah. Hi guys.
Hi.
I'm Sam. Yeah, definitely a lot of people know me from Spirit of 76. I've been there for what seems like forever. Started
Yeah.
with them in 2017 as like an intern, and then they offered me a job, and they offered to send me to China and to all these other different places that sounded really cool, and I was like, how could I say no to that? So
Yeah.
here I am, still in the fireworks business.
Yeah.
thanks to 76 in large part. But yeah, these days, I mean, it's so funny because in your guys' really awesome and high tech intro, you're like, oh yeah, we talk with like the cutting edge pyros of the industry, and then you've got me on, and I'm one of the few people in like maybe like the entire industry that just gets paid to like watch the fireworks, not actually shoot them or prepare them or anything like that. It's like glorified a glorified attendee of fireworks. No, I do a lot of marketing for. I'm a marketing professional, and I've been doing promotional work for Spirit of 76. I've also kind of branched out and taken on some other additional clients as well. Sky Wars has been one of them. If you see my
Yeah.
T-shirt, yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
T-shirt.
well, I mean, we didn't try to match, but we did match.
We did match.
All right.
I
Feel
considered
let
wearing.
down.
I know. I considered wearing my 2024 pity party shirt, but I didn't. But very limited
The
edition.
pity party shirt.
The pity party
I didn't
shirt.
see
I call
that
it
one.
that.
Okay. Oh,
From,
yeah.
From the year that
Yeah.
never happened of Sky Wars.
Yeah.
But if you ordered swag, I think they still have
I think
it.
he's.
They
yeah.
still have some. They still have some. Yeah, no, they're trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. They're becoming rags at this point. I don't really know. But yeah, I have a lot of knowledge about pyrotechnics from just watching, but also I've kind of started branching out and just being like more of a promotion specialist for entertainment companies. I started working with Verge Aero the past few months, like late last year, and so helping them out doing some marketing as well. So that's
Nice.
been a lot of fun, and so yeah, I just kind of get to like show up to places where people are doing really cool things and kind of be like a fly on the wall and then let the world know about it. That's basically what my job is.
That's awesome.
So before you got into a Spirit, were you ever into fireworks anyway from growing up, or was that really your first exposure to it?
Funny enough, not really. Like, I enjoyed fireworks. I definitely did. My family, not so much. Like, my mom has always like hated fireworks. We would go to their like old college friend's house during the 4th of July, and they had like a lake and a barge, and they would do their 4th of July show over that. It wasn't like pyro musical or anything. It was just kind of like music was going off and the fireworks were going off, and that was always a really fun time. But I never really got my hands on fireworks until I started with Spirit, and I was studying marketing and strategic communication at Mizzou, University of Missouri, and I got an internship at 76, and I didn't even know like the difference between a fountain and a cake. And so my first tent season was real interesting.
Yeah.
Luckily, I never had to like actually like sell the items to anyone, so I learned pretty quickly. But yeah, after my first season, I just totally got hooked, because how can you not have fun around like fireworks? And
for sure.
all the people are always super fun because everyone's in a good mood because you're shooting fireworks, and it's just fun industry to be in.
What events have you attended since getting into fireworks?
I could tell you what I haven't attended, which is like Malta, and some other overseas places. Yeah, I've been to my first in the States Pyro event was PGI in 2018, which was awesome. And then NFA, Western Winter Blast, CobraCon, Sky Wars, of course. I never went to the. I never went to the event before it was called Sky Wars.
Oh, didn't you? Okay.
Interestingly enough, even though it was like a handful of miles away.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are others. I think those are like the main ones, the big ones.
For sure.
At least in the U.S. I don't think that I've actually been to like an official out of the States pyro event, so that's next on the bucket list.
Okay.
You're not like, into a lot of the pyro stuff, but are you involved with any of the pyro clubs in any way, like members of them, or you participated with any of them?
Weirdly enough, I'm kind of involved with the WPA, the Western Pyrotechnic Association, even though I live here in Missouri. When COVID happened and everything kind of went digital, after it was like late 2020, because COVID hit like right when the 2020 Winter Blast was happening. Like it was like February of 2020, and everyone was like getting sick, and no one knew why. But the following year, they went virtual, and they asked me to basically like do their marketing for them, and I started volunteering in that way. So, not really like pyro involved with them until maybe this year. I don't know. I'm teaching a couple seminars at their event next week, but so I'm kind of involved in that way. And then like if you count Sky Wars being involved, with Mo Pyro, I think that counts.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've worked kind of closely with both Mo Pyro and KCAP, just being right smack dab in the middle of you guys.
So what role do you play now at 76, I guess? And then, obviously you've done marketing in the past, so what else have you done there at 76?
Yeah, now my role kind of is essentially the same, but it's shifted brands. So I used to kind of basically do jack of all trades marketing for Spirit of 76. Yeah. And now I've transitioned to being the marketing specialist for 76 Pro line. Same company at the moment, different brand, kind of different department. Essentially, it's a very small department right now. But totally different like client base. Yeah. And it's kind of something that I've already always been more interested in than like the retail side of it. Yeah. Shows are always more interesting to me than selling retail.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And of course, like I just have like more knowledge on pyro musical and entertainment aspects of pyro, so it just kind of made sense to switch. Yeah. And so my current role continues to be like I do all our product videos, so everything that we bring in stateside to 76, we test them stateside as well, because if you're buying fireworks from China usually, or from your supplier who gets them from China, a lot of the times the video is not the same, or the performance is not the same, so we always have to test them in-house. It's also a quality assurance thing as well.
For sure.
So that's a big thing. And then really all of our outbound communications, so the emails that everyone hates getting in their inbox, and the social media posts, and all kinds of marketing, print materials and things like that. Pretty much just anything you can think of that is somewhat marketing. And then some, I just wear a bunch of hats just because I've been with the company for over 8 years now.
Yeah, most definitely.
And stuff, what's any new items you guys got coming in this year from Proline? Do you want to kind of share about with everybody?
Yes, we have so many new items. What's interesting about the Pro line is we've been shifting a whole lot towards adding more European products and a lot of products that are basically designed for like both close proximate but like basically production companies like places or companies that do shows at stadiums and events that have like big crowds nearby near the fireworks and put out shows, similar shows like nightly or every week, repeat shows. So we've been really maximizing or expanding our product line in that way. So we've got a whole lot of more like premium stuff coming out this year and in the past year, honestly, last year as well. So we're continuing to expand those product lines, and that kind of includes like the iShot stuff, which we can talk more about if you guys are interested in. But that's kind of a new way to set up single shots, which is definitely on the higher end, but it is specifically for those production companies that are doing show after show after show after show in a very, very short amount of time. We're also kind of expanding, like you may have seen our smoke mines that just came in. Those look really, really awesome. Again, a hefty price point, but hopefully that'll go down because they are incredibly new. But they look so good. So I'm really excited to see them kind of being shot at like stadiums and things like that.
Yeah, the smoke scene is really starting to take a big
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, I want us to bring in like nighttime smoke cakes too. I haven't seen any yet. I imagine that it is in the works. We just brought in some daytime pro use smoke cakes as well as the single shot mines. And they look really sweet too. So I'm excited for that development.
Yeah, for sure.
We have a lot of we're expanding our usual lines as well. We've got a lot more 1,000-gram cakes and just single shots and just basically every category you can think of, color and caliber that you can think of. Always bringing in new stuff, and there's more coming in the next few months that I don't even know that they exist yet. They keep me in the dark about a lot of that stuff because they know that I just want to tell people.
Just want to talk about it.
I'm like, I'm so excited. Look at this. It's so cool.
They're like, we got all this stuff coming in, but don't say anything to Sam. Don't tell Sam.
Pretty much. They don't tell me until it's at the warehouse, and then I have to test it to make sure that it does what it's supposed to do, and then I'm like, no, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. I'm really sad.
Now, I don't know how familiar in depth you are with like the Pro line stuff and some of the push and some of the changes as to how it's regulated, who it's sold to. I know 76 over the last 6 months or so really kind of made a transition to needing to be a licensed Missouri shooter to buy Pro line. Any insights around that direction or that thought process as to why they went to that direction specifically?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not really the decision maker or anything on that, but it was not made lightly. We just have to continue to be careful about, especially in Missouri, where the line is between pro use and consumer. We'd had like even customers getting in trouble, or retailers rather getting in trouble for selling our pro line consumer items because they looked sketchy, basically, is how they were wrapped. And so we had that kind of introduced our new consumer brand 76 show series. But for the pro use stuff, that's kind of in the same realm. We've just been having to be careful. I know that our team has had like a lot of conversations with the lawmakers in Missouri. We were really working closely with the APA to try to continue to make those products available, to continue to make training for it and access to training for it available. And it's too bad that now we do have to require a Missouri shooter's license. At least we're I can tell you that our training is getting better. We do offer a training coming up here in April during the Spirit demo, and it's going to be different than I think we've ever had before. It's specifically for pro use only products for 1.4. It is going to talk about 1.3 as well. But
will you still have like the 1.3 hand fire portion of it in that section?
I don't think that it's going to be 1.3 hand firing. I think it is going to be 1.4 Pro.
Okay.
I can double check, but since 76 doesn't sell any 1.3,
right, yeah,
I don't think that we're this year's we've got a different trainer, and it's I'm excited for it, and I might even try to take it just because I want to see how different it is.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we're even developing, I don't know how public knowledge this is, so I might have to get back to you on whether or not we can share it, but we're working on doing online modules as well, so that people don't have to physically come to our facility just to take the classroom portion.
Yeah.
Of course, you'll still need the hands-on field portion, field components, which you would need for any license or certificate.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're hosting something already, it's quick to just say, okay, yeah, just spend the extra $15, come on over. We're gonna do it at 3:15. Be here by 3:10 or whatever, and we'll get you checked in. Boom, you can light a shell and then be on your merry way or whatever. Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, that is the plan. That's the idea. Just to make that training more accessible, and to also kind of solidify us as like, hey, we're trying to work with the laws and respect the laws and the regulations and things that are going on, just because we we don't want the 1.4 Pro to go away. We want it to be accessible to anyone who wants to use it, who's dedicated to getting the training for it and to using it properly. And we are very, very adamant and particular on what's the word? We exclusively do not sell or provide pro use fireworks for retailers. We are very clear that is not the destination or intent for selling those in retail settings. We've always heard rumors of like, oh, you can get this stuff in a retail setting, and we've never actually seen that like be factual.
Yeah.
But it seems to be a common fear, and I think that's what's driving a lot of those laws.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it also helped too, like you said, like they spun off the whole show series, type of fire, and they really kind of made that separation between what was pro line and what's not, and that will go a long way, I think, into helping retailers or people inspecting retailers to see that there is a difference between what was on the shelf wasn't really pro line. It was just the pro series, essentially. It wasn't really pro line product. So I think they have that show series being separated out. I think helps some of that distinction.
It's honestly really silly. It is so silly that having a brown wrap that says the word 7.6 Pro line as like a logo, and it clearly says like consumer grade, like consumer legal firework on it, and we had retail customers tell us that their ATF representative or whoever that came in was like, no, that's a pro cake. It says it right here, pro line cake. And so we were like, okay, well, I guess we have to change course and come up with a whole new brand.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's just weird how that worked out, but I think the brand looks really good, and I do think that is a lot clearer to just, from the naked eye, you look at the product and it doesn't look like a pro line cake at all.
Yeah. Correct.
So it's easier to make that distinction.
Yeah,
and I know we touched a little bit on shows and stuff that you've been to, and you mentioned Winter Blast coming up. Any insights as to the event itself, and maybe what you guys got going on at the Winter Blast this year?
Yeah, I'm curious if either of you guys have been to Winter Blast.
I have
not. No.
It's quite a trek.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of my favorite events, and it is mainly because it always takes place in Lake Havasu City, Arizona, and it is an absolutely beautiful place to just escape to in the middle of February, where Midwest winters are unpredictably terrible.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous. It's nestled in among like mountains, and it's like 60 degrees. If we're lucky, it'll be 60 degrees all week. And it's a lot of like Western and a lot of California pyros going to this one place for a week and manufacturing and making things that they can't otherwise get their hands on.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, for Californians. There's a lot of folks from, you know, Nevada, Arizona as well, and New Mexico and surrounding areas going to it. It's a lot of California pyros.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Being like, it's their one time a year that they actually get to play with that stuff, which is really nice for them. So I don't even know how like 76 started going, but this is actually the first year that we're taking a truck out to do pre-orders, which is pretty exciting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, which we've never been able to do that before, and so that's new. So we're excited to be able to like kind of bring some of this pyro over there that we normally don't get to reach that kind of audience. But I really like Western Winter Blast. It's very laid back. It's like PGI but in the desert, in the Western desert, and the people are all super laid back. Because they're like California pyros. I don't know. and they've got nightly shooting. They always do a big display Friday and Saturday. Saturday is the main like public display where locals can come and watch as well. And they're a lot of people are big on manufacturing. They do Class C vending there too. They do seminars and workshops. And it all just kind of, and then there's like it's like PGI. They've got a campground and they all get together and you know, everyone like cooks, and they've got like a wine tasting competition one night, which is real fun. It's a good time. I highly recommend it for anyone in the area or anyone whose company can sponsor them to go. Actually, I went as like basically a vacation last year and had a good time because I didn't have to work, and I made a couple shells, and that was fun. But
that's
this
awesome.
year,
That's cool.
yeah, this year I got suckered into doing some seminars, and we've actually got a show this year too for 76, and that's on Friday, and then on Saturday. And honestly, I don't know when this episode's airing, so it might be post Winter Blast.
I think it'll be post. Yeah.
So, and Saturday, Sean Hodder is doing the closing display. He's actually
he is.
partnering with Verge Aero, so it's going to be a combined fireworks pyro drone show that I'm really looking forward
I think it was like 12,600.
He was trying to do the 12,000.
Yeah, he's trying to
it out.
do the record on
insane.
the mongoose.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
Insane.
It's gonna be a wild show.
Yeah.
I might try to live stream it, but we'll see. I never like to promise a live stream.
Yeah.
It never works out.
Yeah, or internet.
You
or
promised
something,
a live stream of Sky Wars the 23.
Well, that was because no one was there. By design.
Yeah.
That was the only time that we could have pulled that off. Which is good. That was the only time. And even that, I didn't even want to promise it because I was like, if it can't happen, then it can't happen. And then no one can be mad at me. But it worked out, and it looks great.
Yeah. Then you're going to be at the Spirit of 76 showdown with the Mo Pyro versus K-Cap.
I'm not going to that.
You're not going to that? All right.
I'll be there. I'll be there, and you guys should too.
I'm pretty sure I'll be there.
That's the 26th of April, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, so
April 26th.
Seems like everybody does their demo that same weekend. I mean, we have
Yep.
our demo the same weekend, so it's a lot. Yeah,
it's a popular weekend for sure. There's always like 10 other things going on in Columbia, Missouri too, so no one can get hotels or restaurants or anything like that. So it's always like the perfect time. Except that. But we pretty much do. That's like every year. That's when we do it.
Yeah.
Because we like to make things complicated.
And
And
then-
also, it always also ends up being like 30 degrees when the rest of the week is like
it always
warm.
is, yeah.
60,
Yeah.
70s. It's
Of course.
So, as soon as the sun goes down, you're freezing on the hill if they're trying to watch fireworks. You're just like shivering the whole time.
not enjoyable at all.
And-
they're
and
like,
the wind
so
is-
like 60 items isn't too many. I'm like,
That's and
everyone
that's
just
what
wants
event
the show anyway.
and that's one event that's open to anybody essentially to come out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone's welcome to, like, if you are interested in buying like wholesale from 76, you should RSVP on the website. Otherwise, you can. It's open to the public. And then we're also doing that pyro training during the day, which is a really good opportunity to get some training for a pro use only authorization. And like I said, that's going to be different this year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it comes together and how the
Yeah.
training goes, and hopefully maybe copying that for years to come, and maybe online modules.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, for sure. Perfect.
Yeah, but the showdown at the end of the night is also just awesome. It's always awesome. KCAP has won like the past 3 years in a row.
I think it's 3 or 4. Yeah, 3 or 4 years in a row. Yeah,
Yeah, I was talking to Rob Sema of Mo Pyro, and
I think
he was
it's
like, "Man,
4.
we
I think it's
just-"
4 years. I think yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's honestly gotten embarrassing for the Mo Pyro guys, but I mean, they've got their own stuff, and then I want to say that, like, oh yeah, they're just too busy planning for Sky Wars, but Sky Wars is like 6 months away, so I don't know what
Yeah,
their excuse is. and they
I
have an
don't know.
excuse this year.
It's very interesting though, because you could definitely see the different scripting styles between the clubs.
Yes.
I think when you watch that show and you go back and you watch some of the previous years, you see how KCAP script versus Mo Pirate. You can definitely see there is a difference in how they script shows. And I don't know if that has anything that plays into it, but I mean, I think they put on a very good show last year, and the scoring had to be close last year because they did have a really good show last year, and I almost thought that they had pulled it off last year, but unfortunately didn't. And I don't expect them to win this year either. So unfortunately I don't expect them to win this year either.
It's always like within a few points, but
Yeah.
the last few times it's tipped in. The scales have tipped in KCAP's favor. I don't know. But no, that's a good point. You can definitely see the different scripting styles, different different just ways that you guys go about things, and the different music style as well. I don't know, but you guys always do an amazing job. Both shows are always incredible.
Yeah, it's always good.
and
It's a good time. Yeah.
And it is blind, like, or the judging is blind.
Yeah.
So we don't know who shoots who, but
Yeah.
at what time. But it's definitely worth it. 2 very awesome pyro musicals. I think we've even increased the time limit this year and increased the budget just a little bit.
Nice,
So
okay.
it should be good, like 2 10-minute shows or somewhere around there. So yeah, Columbia, Missouri, April
That's awesome.
26th.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, definitely worth it to come down and see.
100%.
Yeah, and
And
you guys were talking about the different designing techniques, like not even just clubs, like even shooters, be able to see their different design techniques. Like, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
you could put
Yeah.
2 different musicals with the same product in there, and they're going to design it different. Yeah, so it's really cool to see that. Yeah.
That's true. It's kind of like those classes you can take where you're all painting the same picture, but everyone has their different
Yeah.
spin on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you can do with pyro musicals. But no, we don't tell them what music to go with or what product. Although we did last year tell them there was like a specific product they had to use, but that's not the case. You do whatever you want.
But the interesting
That'd be
thing
really
is,
fun
I mean,
if it
for the
came
most
out
part,
the
the product is all fairly similar. I mean, you're using all
Yeah.
Spirit product, and so
Yeah.
there's a lot of in that is that it very similar shows are using a lot of the same items in most cases. You might have a handful of things that are different, but everybody's using the same comets and same mines and a lot of the same cakes and slices
Yeah,
when
it's
you're
all
out there,
coming
right?
from the same warehouse.
Yeah, it's a lot of similar product. And are you able to see the difference in the shows with a lot of the same product, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I can tell when a club has favorites for products. Where you're just like always going back to those same ones.
Yep.
Because you know it. You know that it's
Yep.
you know that it's gonna work. So
Exactly.
no fault there.
And then, yeah, go ahead. No,
No, I was going. I know that she's been involved in a lot of different like pyro events, and I think one of the cool ones that I didn't know you were involved in until afterwards was the Tropicana demolition.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You were out there. You were out there with Verge, weren't you? Right? You were
I
helping
was
with Verge.
actually out there with the Viverka team, the
Okay.
Pacifier
Yeah.
documentary crew hired me because they needed one additional videographer, and that's actually
yeah.
how I, because I ran into the Verge people there too, because of course they were doing the drones, and I knew a few of the people that worked there because they had previously worked for Cobra Firing Systems, and and I was talking to them, and they were like, "Oh, hey, we could use some marketing help if you're like a free agent now." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I mean, sure, absolutely." So that's how I kind of stumbled upon that gig. But the Tropicana demolition was amazing. That was so crazy. That was
watching
one
it
of
after
the
was
wildest
awesome,
things
yeah.
I've ever seen. I wish I was on the ground. I was actually stationed up in a hotel room with a really good view of it. But the whole thing, I mean, like, my floor shook whenever the towers went down.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I had
Yeah,
like a
that's
phone
crazy.
propped up. I had multiple cameras propped up or on tripods, but then I just had my phone. I was out of tripods. I had my phone up against the window, and you could see it go as the
Wow.
as the towers went down.
That's
It was so
crazy.
cool. And it was just like absolutely wild how controlled it was and how they like saved the modules from. That was my big thing, was like how are you saving the equipment? And so I don't think I'm really allowed to talk about how they did it,
Oh, really?
but they did it, and I
Okay.
got footage of it. It was really cool.
I've
like,
heard rumors.
badass.
I've heard rumors about how they did it. I mean,
Well, you can say what the rumor is. I cannot confirm nor deny.
I've heard that they had on a cabling system that they were able to bring them back from. Is what I'd heard, but
I don't know,
they
Donnie.
like
That'd be
essentially
pretty
like
cool
zip
if
lined
they
them.
did.
They like zip lined them out.
It was such a sweet shoot. It was
That's
super
crazy.
Cool. That was my first time like actually meeting Phil Grucci too.
Oh, wow.
and-
Yeah. I didn't realize
and
he was there
he's-
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a big Grucci production, and he was there, and he's a great guy. And he
Yeah.
uses a bunch of 76 products, so it's kind of weird that like all of these things were coming together. I'm like, I'm like, Viverka's just sent me, and they didn't tell me what was going on until I showed up.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was very hush hush until we got there for good reason.
Yeah.
And half the city didn't. I think like rumor had got out. Like no one in Vegas was actually supposed to know, but rumor got out because the hotels really wanted to like upcharge for those rooms that could see them.
Yeah.
So they ended up like just telling people that it was happening, and it was at like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
They of course had to close all the traffic lanes and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was wild. And then the folks on the ground, they were stationed, I think there were a few different places where they were like bunkered down, but there was like a shipping container that a few of the camera crew and some of the drone crew and whoever was on the ground like ran into for like just waited for like 45 minutes for the smoke to clear.
Wow.
It's absolutely wild.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, really, yeah, they're all right there. I mean, there's not really a way to
Yeah.
get away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I would sacrifice my GoPro or 2 GoPros on the ground. They came back. They were just super dusty.
Yeah.
But the footage was amazing.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, super cool. One of the coolest shoots I've ever been on and
Yeah.
seen in person. That was absolutely wild.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I told Phil, I was like, anytime you guys need me to record another demolition or anything like this,
Yeah.
they were like, oh yeah, we're doing another one in like Dubai. I'm like, well, I got my passport.
Yeah. I'll be just muscle or something. I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, for real. I was like, I don't care what. It was super cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. What pyro event should all pyros try to make at least once?
Well, I mean, everyone's gotta say PGI, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
everyone has
for
to
sure.
say PGI. So there's that. I would say CobraCon is probably a close second.
Yeah,
Just because of
for
the
me, I would
knowledge
agree. Yeah, I mean,
that you get.
and like Cobra and Jonathan have they described it, like, for me, I would agree. Like, PGI is the builders event of the year, and CobraCon is the designers event of the year. And
Yeah.
I mean, I like PGI, but for me, like, designing and being around people that are of like minds, that to me is that's where I would prefer to go over. Honestly, I mean, again, nothing against PGI. I love PGI, but
No.
CobraCon is, yeah, for me is the place to go. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
And it's
surprised,
a little
Donnie,
bit,
that
like,
you haven't
more
been.
tightly organized too.
Yeah,
because-
Yeah.
this will be my
Yeah.
first year at CobraCon, so
Yeah.
I'll be able to know if I rank at number 2 or not. I guess after
Yeah.
this year. Huh?
Yeah,
You know, it's kind of crazy how, like, there's so many different avenues of pyro that you can go,
Yeah.
and there's like an event for each one, or like multiple events for each kind. Like, are you a manufacturer
Right.
slash builder? Are you a designer? Are you a retailer? Are
Yeah.
you just like it all? Like,
yeah, exactly.
so crazy. And people are like, what, how are you employed all year round by a fireworks company?
They don't understand the amount of work that goes into what everybody would consider 1 week of pyro, and it's like, it's really not just 1 week. Like, there is so much more than that. Yeah.
Months of planning, and there's just so much, and that's just for retail. Like,
Yeah,
for
exactly.
production companies, it's all
Yeah,
year round.
It's all year round, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Which I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
It's good to be employed all year round.
So obviously you talked about you do a lot of marketing for all these events. So how many different events and stuff are you doing marketing for that we may not know about? Like, you're behind the scenes, just like doing all the fancy stuff for them.
Well, I did Pyro Jam one year, their first or second year. And then there was Sky Wars, Winter Blast. I don't know if you count the 76 demo. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's not really its own standalone event, but I did help with PGI one year as well. I don't think that CobraCon never needed my help. Luckily, like, they're tech savvy enough. They
Yeah.
got that under wraps. I think that's it as far as like pyro events go.
Is there an event out there that you would like to do the marketing for, that you're just waiting for looking for that opportunity?
I mean, anything overseas, if you send me out there, I'll go. Oh my God, I'll help Malta.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool to see.
Yeah.
Just to witness.
Malta,
no, I don't need more work.
New
but-
Year's at Dubai. Yeah.
Yeah, for
exactly.
real.
This is the Pyro Unleashed Cake Review, brought to you by PGI.
Shout out to PGI this season
Huge shout out to
for
PGI.
coming on board and wanting to be a part of our podcast and supporting us. And we always
Yeah.
try to get some good PGI information out there. So
Yeah.
since it's founded in 1969, the PGI has been dedicated to helping you do whatever you love and want to do in fireworks, legally and safely. Whatever that is, enjoying consumer fireworks with family and friends, becoming a fireworks display operator, learning how fireworks are made, photographing firework displays, collecting pyro memorabilia, or all things and everything in between. There are PGI members that share those same passions. This year, PGI is holding their annual convention in Boone, Iowa from August 2nd to the 9th.
We were just talking about getting Airbnbs for that today, actually.
Yeah.
So
Do it sooner rather than later.
you're not lying. Yeah, I mean, I've looked up where it's at, and it's literally the middle of nowhere. So
It's always in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know. This one,
It
I
has
guess,
to-
is it looks even
Even
more.
more in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
it's-
sure it's out there, yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day, our play used to just be to like find the biggest Airbnb or Verbo, and with the most amount of rooms, and rent that out as far in advance, and then we could have like the biggest crew.
Yeah, just a big party and
Everyone
hang
just
out and
passes
yeah.
out. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Yep. Yeah.
And then you've
All
got
right,
like
this-
10 snoring pyros in one bunk room. It's pretty fun.
Oh, man, yeah. All right, so this week cake reviews. This came courtesy of Sam. We reached out on her to get her ideas on what she liked. So she picked out a new 2025 production cake. This is going to be from Spirits from the Proline division. It's a 49-shot Z colored tail, the color strobing Sky Comets. Sky Comets is one of my favorite effects as well.
Mine too.
So
I love it.
Gonna, that's 100% something that I would use. I love the nice steady pace of that cake. That's the no finale. I like the no finale because you can just kind of toss it in the middle of the show and you get that nice steady pace from start to finish.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know, we have one that's pretty similar to that, same shot count. Colors, I think, are pretty close. And yeah, I think ours, it fires just a little bit faster. It does have that fast row at the end, but I really like having not having the finale and being able to appreciate that single, just that single comment dropping. It's really nice. And then
does yours have a finale row on it?
It does, yeah. So it's pretty much the same.
That's kind of cool though.
Except just the last row is like a, and it's So really like it. Yeah.
Yeah. The effect on that is just so nice.
Yeah, it is.
So elegant.
I like the color. The colors, that color is very, very bright in that video.
Yeah. Did you take that video then? You seen this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was only like 2 weeks ago.
Was it really?
Yeah.
So this is definitely a live in the States video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah. We've done a couple shoots already this year, and I'm getting through the videos. I have a whole bunch actually pulled up in my Premiere right now. But yeah, no, that one looked really, really beautiful. There was another one very similar in color, but like completely different. Of course, firing pattern, and that we tested at the same time, which is TM500. I couldn't even tell you the full name of it as Proline names go. It just tells you exactly what it is. But that one,
exactly.
The color, the sky mines really stood out to me. Just, I love the elegance of it, and I love like anything that's kind of like quiet, not with like a lot of report, and the steady pacing, the color, also kind of like the falling leaves effect that it kind of adds in as well. Just it's just real nice.
For those nice, slow, quiet sections of your Pyro musical where you just want that nice, slow, quiet effect that just kind of hangs out there and comes down. I'm guessing we're going to see this maybe demoed on April 26th, maybe?
Good question. I don't even know if we're doing Proline stuff, but we should.
Really? You should. She should put this on the list out there,
Yeah, I'll advocate for it for sure. I'm sure. I mean, you guys got to put it in your show. Maybe that'll be the guarantee. Have it shot that night. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's one of those 1,000-gram cakes, which is like kind of new for us in the last couple years.
Yeah, 5 years, I think. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sweet.
Perfect. Well,
do we rate them?
We need to rate it.
For me, I'm probably like an 8.5 on that one. I'm pretty high on that one. It's a pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm a solid like 8.3, 8.5 on that one. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least 8. There wasn't really anything that stood out to me. Like a lot of the times, whenever I shoot some cakes and Proline stuff, that new things that come in new, especially, there's always something off about them that I'm like, I have OCD. I can't stand that. I can't look at that. And that one, honestly, like, it had the potential to be like not very even or anything like that, but I thought it shot gorgeously. So
Yeah, there's a nice elegance to it with, like I said, just that single drop, and then you have that blue mine, the sky, like I guess Finale 3D calls it an ear or whatever, but
ear.
yeah, it's just that sky
Oh,
mine.
yeah.
But yeah,
So
Yeah.
are you a crackle or no crackle?
Ugh, no crackle.
no crackle. Yeah,
I'll do it. I'm okay with a salute here and there, but I don't know. Crackle has its place for sure. If it's in a musical and it's like high impact, it depends. But in general, I don't really like crackle.
Okay.
so Sky Wars,
I'm
you're gonna
more-
really like Sky Wars when the mass launch of Crackle goes, huh?
Okay, again, there's a time and place.
There
for
is a time and
Crackle.
place for it. Yeah,
If I know to expect it, for sure. But like, and when they just throw it in consumer cakes, like Brothers is so bad about it. Like
The finale rose crackle.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm cool with Finale Rose too. I love Finale Rose, but if it could just be like, if it didn't have the crackle at the end, that'd be great. But again, you've got to have it in some things.
it's all
A
about
crackle
you
mass
know,
launch will be fun though.
yeah, it's all
I think
about the
it'll be, yeah.
marketing to the consumer market. They love that crackle and the noise, and
Yeah.
it's all about
They just want noise.
that's all they want. Yeah,
Some people
howl
do.
and crackle.
Howl and crackle. I do like the howling though. Some of
howling
the
is fun.
howling is pretty cool.
Yeah,
When you know, I don't know. It needs to be consistent. If it's just like one or two shots in there, I'm like, kind of like a kitchen sink kind of situation. But if
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
throughout the whole thing, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All about the control,
Part of the reason we've been kind of teasing this episode for the first 3 of this is this new little mini series that we are doing this season, specifically around the women in Pyro. And so we kind of come up with this idea. Sam came to mind as somebody that I know would be a great person to kind of kick this series off for us this year. And so for us, we're planning out about every 4th episode this season. We're going to have a different woman from Pyro, business owners, people in Pyro. I mean, just people who are involved in Pyro, and so we really want to kind of showcase the other side of Pyro that, from my perspective, is a very male-dominated kind of industry, and so we really wanted to, I think, share the perspective of the female perspective in the Pyro business and any challenges or anything like that you've kind of run into with that. And so we've got some great guests lined up for this series this season that are going
already
to be really
good.
cool, that haven't had enough recognition in some cases, I think, and so we're definitely excited, and we're glad that you came on to kind of kick this series off with us, and you were excited for it as well.
Yeah,
Such an original idea.
yeah. What in the world, Donnie? No.
Yeah, I know. I swear I didn't see the videos before.
I don't think anyone has. No, this is good. There are actually surprisingly quite a few women in Pyro that are doing some amazing things, and actual pyrotechnicians, unlike myself, but who are just doing some absolutely incredible things. So if you guys ever need any more recommendations on who to talk to, let me know, because you could easily fill up a year's worth of content every 4th episode with talking with a cool lady Pyro.
Yeah.
We're a rare breed, but they do exist.
So from your perspective, what has it been like being that woman kind of in Pyro? And not necessarily, but you're behind the scenes. You're more observant as to the experiences that you might have seen. I mean, other women kind of in that series. So I mean, from your perspective, has that been like?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of, I don't know, I feel a little spoiled because every other Pyro is like a white dude, and then you get a lady in there, and all the other Pyros are like, oh yeah, we'll talk to you. So it's I actually don't really have anything negative to say. There's always like the one-off weird thing you go to an industry event and something weird happens, but in general the Pyro industry is just like a bunch of really good people, and so I've always enjoyed it. And I feel spoiled to be like, I get to hang out with a lot of cool people, and they'll actually like talk to me because maybe I I don't know, different. Being a woman is different than all the other pyro dudes out there, so it's a little bit, I don't know, more interesting or just a different. So yeah, I don't know. It's different.
Absolutely.
And like, what kind of challenges have you faced in such a male-dominated industry? Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely challenges. I think it kind of depends on where you're at too. I kind of pose the same question to like the female customers who were working with Spirit of 76, especially like the retailers. I was like,
Yeah.
is there any challenges that you guys have faced? And they were all kind of like, I mean, it's from a retail perspective, a lot of them are in like a very isolated place where maybe they're the only pyro expert in their area, so they
Yeah.
really don't feel any differently. But when they go to events, a lot of the ladies are like, yeah, I'm the one, I'm the business owner, and they want to like talk to my husband or boyfriend or whoever
Yeah.
I'm with rather than me. So I've definitely had that actually happen to me before too, where it's just kind of like I last year I took my boyfriend to a pyro event, and I was a volunteer, and talking to a fellow volunteer who was I was introduced to for the first time, and he kept looking to my boyfriend like like talking about pyro to him, and I was like, no, you're talking to me, I'm the pyro. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. So that happens. It's not really anything major, but sometimes it's kind of apparent for sure.
Yeah.
So what are some things that all of us can do to help encourage and get more women involved?
Teach your daughters how to light pyro safely, and just be involved and be interested in all things pyrotechnics, and the science behind it and the opportunities around it. There are like so many different weird careers that you can have in pyro, but also just hobby-wise that you can have in pyro. I feel like a lot of the women that get involved in pyro, whether they, I mean, a lot of them do, unfortunately, like, whether, not really unfortunately, but a lot of them do end up getting involved through their spouse or brother or father or whoever. A guy is interested in pyro and then drags them along to an event or something, and they end up getting interested in it. Well, that is definitely an I mean, that's totally fine. That's good. Definitely get more women interested in pyro. But at the same time, ladies, come on, like, don't you want to blow some shit up? Like,
exactly.
This is a fun place. You don't need a guy to introduce you to pyro.
Exactly.
Just get involved in a club or go to a local event or anything, and you could end up being spoiled like me and come up to, if you want to learn manufacturing, go talk to some guys who are doing it, and they'll be like, oh, a lady who's interested in it? Yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah, exactly.
Or really any way, any avenue in pyro is pretty easy to dip your toes into. I mean, that really goes for anyone, not just women.
Yeah.
I feel like if you show an interest in it and you're like, hey, I'm here, I'm willing to help out, I just want to learn, you're gonna find someone who's willing to share their knowledge. But definitely just, I don't know, it's hard to be like, I'm sure most of the listeners here are going to be male. Maybe that's preemptive to assume, but I would encourage more women to be involved in pyrotechnics, because it is such a fun industry to be involved in.
Yeah, most definitely is.
Yeah, absolutely, it is. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of the same way for me. I mean, like my wife, she lived in Arizona her whole life most of the time, and fireworks are pretty much illegal there for most of it. I mean, I brought her back to here and showed her fireworks. I let her light fireworks for the very first time, and she was like, "This is so cool!" Like, I had never gotten to do this before. And here she's a 30-year-old adult lighting fireworks for her first time. Like,
wow.
And now, I mean, she's my right-hand person for pyro events and everything. I mean, she's always there. She loves it just as much as I do now. I mean, so I just got to get her to script a show sometime. But we're gonna have to work on that. But
Yeah, I mean, it's kinda the same
and
way
that's
you
the
get-
thing,
Is
right?
the fun part. This is the
Yeah.
fun part.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's kind of even the same way for me. Like, I'm kind of different, I guess. But my wife was kind of dragged into it because that was kind of the way she bonded with her dad. And then, yeah, what used to be what is now Sky Wars, used to be something different. That's where we met in 2015. So yeah, I mean, it is just different how, you get into pyro. So yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
I'm-
everyone gets
yeah.
into pyro through someone, right?
Exactly.
Like, usually.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare for someone to just kind of organically stumble upon it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not necessarily fair to be like, no, don't let someone who's interested in pyro introduce you to pyro if they're a guy. Like, I guess maybe us lady pyros should be the ones to wrangle more folks into
Yeah.
and more ladies into the industry.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get all my friends into it, but they're just like, that just looks like work. I'm like, yeah, it's
well,
labor.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work,
Can be.
but it's fun.
It is. Yes. So yeah, let's kind of get into a little different kind of side of the topic. So obviously you run Boomcast. So I guess let's talk about that and where people can find you, and then I guess we'll kind of start diving into, well, some other stuff. So where can people
Sure.
find you on Boomcast, and then
Oh, yes. I also run a podcast.
yes.
Not nearly as frequently as you guys do, but it is 76 Boomcast. We have episodes out on Spotify. I usually end up uploading them to YouTube as well. Got a few in the works for this year. Originally, whenever I had started them, I was like, oh, I'm going to pop these out like every 2 weeks. And it absolutely did not happen.
Yeah.
I have a lot of other things to do. But 76 Boomcast on Spotify is where you can listen to those.
Awesome.
Now, do you have any type of direction that you kind of take that podcast, or is it a specific kind of genre, I guess, essentially of fireworks you're looking at?
It's definitely geared towards 1.4. And a lot of it, I mean, it's sponsored by Spirit of 76, so it's definitely a sponsored podcast. Got to be transparent about that. It is a lot about our product, but it's also, I've been really trying to get more pyro topics and like educational stuff in there. Talking with industry leaders and partners, as well as, kind of getting perspectives from other pyros in the industry as well. But we've also gotten some really good interviews with like overseas suppliers, which has been really awesome, because that's something that here in the States we really just don't see. It's nice to be able to peek behind the curtain of what the suppliers are doing on their end. So that's really cool. It's really just anything that we think is going to be interesting to the pyro audience.
Yeah, for sure. I guess, Donnie, I think you wrote this one here.
Yeah, no, I was going to
go
kind of
ahead.
maybe get into. I know you talk about you record like a lot of demos. You do a lot of the marketing stuff. What type of like equipment are you using for your type of setup when you're out there recording stuff? Or because some people you have fancy
question.
cameras, some people use phones. Like what kind of equipment are you using out there in the process of all your
I have
video
gone
stuff?
through a lot of different equipment. When I first started 76, they have a Panasonic Lumix, which is really, really good because it's it's more of like on the lower like affordability end, but it's still like a really, really good camera, and depending on your lens, of course, but I got really, really good quality from that. And we still have those, and I use those on occasion. The iPhone is actually very, very reputable for recording pyro, because it basically does your exposure automatically for you, and I don't know, I go back and forth because my current iPhone, which is I think an iPhone 15, I haven't upgraded to this, or it's a 14, I don't know, I haven't upgraded to the 16 yet, but sometimes it's a little overexposed, I feel. And you can adjust that in settings in a different app as well.
Yeah.
But in general, when you're just like in a pinch, just need to point and shoot, the iPhone does really, really well. And a lot of Androids do too, like Samsung Galaxy and like the Google Pixel actually have phenomenal cameras on there. So honestly, in a pinch, you really don't need to splurge a whole lot. If you're just trying to get some good video, especially for social media, that stuff is... I specifically only use my iPhone now for like vertical video for social media. And then these days I invested in a Sony Alpha 7 S3, and it is on the higher end of cameras, but I love it. And I've got a nice wide angle lens on there. That was also a pretty penny, and that's what I've been using for my product videos for the last like year or so.
Okay. Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, you can spend a whole lot of money on video equipment and photography equipment. And don't even get me started on photography, because I'm not a good pyrotographer when it comes to like long exposure. I know some folks who are really, really good at it.
Yeah.
I have dabbled, and then it's not great from my standpoint. I have gotten some really good photos, but for every one good photo, there's at least 1,000 bad ones.
Oh yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
What do you guys use? Do you guys record ever?
I've used when I was at Pyro Jam last year, I used the new GoPro 12, and I really like that. Really,
GoPros.
it's honestly just given that fisheye lens, so I'm still trying to figure all that out. But otherwise, it's the iPhone 15 Pro Max or a GoPro. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have like a GoPro 9. I think I have like a GoPro 9 or something that I've been using, and I mean, the video quality is good enough for anything that I want to do with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but we do get that super wide mode. You do get that fisheye, and you can you can clean it up just a little bit and kind of in post a little bit, but most of the time it's dark enough you can't really tell if you've got a nice dark ground. You don't really see the fisheye as much, but you got to kind of play with that a little bit. But I enjoy the GoPro. It's super point and click. I mean, it's super easy. I don't have to change. I don't have a bunch of settings I got to change and all that kind of stuff, and mess with all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Agreed. And in the newer GoPros, you can like schedule when you can record. Like my newer GoPro, it's a few generations old, but you can schedule what time it starts recording if you go in and set it up, and then you don't even have to touch it for hours.
Oh, I'll have to check that out. I'll have to look into that one.
For sure.
Huh. Yeah, that's awesome.
I knew what I did for Tropicana
Is it?
Because we wanted to see like the modules being saved. Which I can neither confirm nor deny how. But it was really sweet.
This is Pyro News, brought to you by Dominator Fireworks.
Dominator brand fireworks is one of China's fastest growing firework brands. Dominator Fireworks covers all categories of fireworks, including consumer fireworks and professional display pyrotechnics. In addition to the Dominator brand name products, they produce many private label products for their customers. Dominator can custom manufacture or procure any product to your exact packaging and product specifications, or they can recommend products to suit your needs. So, today's topic...
I want to preface, that was not at Dominator, that was at what we're getting ready to talk about.
Yes, yeah.
Sorry. I realized I'm sitting here like mid-Donnie reading, I'm like, that was not at Dominator, that video.
It doesn't help that they're like, they're a big Chinese brand too.
Right. Terrace is kind of the hot topic right now. Today we're kind of going over this.
Yeah.
And, I know I got the information, the email from Stacey Snyder from NFA.
Yeah.
I seen a video, I think, on TikTok or somewhere from Superior Fireworks. They were talking about it, and pretty much the consensus is there's going to be some price increases as things start to come in this season. I know, David, you're you're very much in deep with all the wholesale stuff and bringing stuff in.
Yeah.
And Sam over at 76 with the Pro Line stuff. Just kind of what your guys' thoughts on what this is looking like maybe for the potential season.
I really didn't think the tariffs would actually happen on fireworks, to be honest with you. I know that our current standing president is a big proponent for celebrating our freedom and celebrating America. So when I did hear that there was actually tariffs on fireworks, I genuinely was shocked. I think we heard about this yesterday morning at the time that we're recording this, and yeah, it's disheartening. I mean, the only thing we can kind of do is hope and pray that it kind of turns around, and but yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, Sam?
I was not surprised.
Weren't you really?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I mean, fireworks are primarily Chinese goods, so
Yeah.
we can say that we love. I mean, yeah, we love celebrating America here. But
Yeah.
with Chinese, the truth of the matter is that a lot of 90% of fireworks are
Exactly.
coming from China. So
Yeah.
yeah, it makes sense that those tariffs would include fireworks.
Yeah.
And it is, yeah, it's really disheartening. It's too bad. Yeah, I don't think that there's any way around price increases this season.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess my kind of hope is, and I know that there was like tariffs already pulled back from Canada and Mexico, so
In Mexico.
we can kind of just hope and cross our fingers that that's kind of still maybe a possibility with China, but at this point, if it's already being released, it's probably more than likely just gonna stay. I mean, I know Donnie, we were talking even off air. It's really not just fireworks. I mean, you were mentioning that Temu and
the Postal Service was talking
the
about
Postal Service was talking about that.
having to put tariffs on people's stuff that they order from Temu and Shine and these Chinese companies because it's being imported. And normally you import something, the manufacturer, right, who imports it has to pay that tariff. Well, in this case, it's going directly to your house.
Yeah.
So technically, you're the one that's importing it. Now you're the one responsible for paying that tariff essentially.
So they're gonna hold it like a warehouse, and then you have to pay that they're gonna consider delivery fee
the
or something?
the Postal Service was talking about holding all packages from China temporarily until they could figure out what they were going to do. And so yeah, it's always going to be interesting to kind of follow how this kind of plays out, and if we don't get some type of maybe pull back, hopefully maybe in the short term or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of unfortunately how majority of tariffs work. It always kind of ends up on the end user
Yeah.
because business has to keep running, so
Exactly.
everything is just going to keep passing down to the end user, which
Yeah.
is just the unfortunate reality of capitalism.
Yeah.
I mean, do we think that any importers are going to potentially maybe try to offset some of that tariff and just take less profit, or do we think it's just going to be just a straight markup across the board on 10% just across the board, or is there going to be type of like assistance maybe from some of the importers?
I don't think that. I mean, again, I could be wrong. I'm sure somebody out there might do that, but
Yeah.
I know in just some quick communication that I had today, it's pretty much work. I mean, unfortunately it's going to be just passed down to the end user or the next person in line, and yeah, like you said, Sam, it in the end it's just a big snowball effect, and by the end it's going to affect the end user more than it really affects us as a wholesaler. So yeah, I mean the price tag's just going to go up, and the next person the person that buys it's just going to reflect that to them.
Yeah, I think the strategy is going to be more of how long can everyone delay
Correct.
the increases, and for which categories maybe, but it's going to happen one way or another, unfortunately, just because business has to keep going.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
there's not really another way to eat it.
Have you? I mean, maybe I'm asking too much. Have you guys gotten a bulk majority of what you guys anticipate for the 25 season at Spirit?
I think yes, but we import all year round.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
We have gotten a lot of it already, yeah.
Yeah.
We are still anticipating a whole lot more, especially for next year being the 250th
For sure.
anniversary of America,
Yeah.
and everyone expecting that to be an incredibly big retail and wholesale season.
Yes.
It's we've already developed almost all of our products for that year as well, so
Yeah.
there's no way around getting more in for
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
season and the next season.
Yeah. Well, I guess I didn't know, and maybe I'm preemptively speaking and thinking here, but I would say that we've probably got significantly more than half of our product in as well for the
That's
for the
good.
25 season. So, I mean, maybe living on a hope
Buy
and a
early.
prayer.
Buy early.
I mean, really, that
Buy early,
it's
yeah.
not a scare tactic. It really is not. You
Yeah,
need to buy
buy it now
early
before-
now.
before the tariff tax gets applied.
Yeah, and I hate to even say this, and maybe this is just wrong of me to say, but I know that most of your retailers, even though they're buying it at maybe the pre tariff price, they're still going to bump a little bit more, and they're going to take advantage of the end user. I have a feeling that that's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
that's really
That's
going to
probably
be
going to happen a lot,
yeah,
yeah.
a lot, yeah.
Well, and some of those retailers might be buying a mixed, right? Like part of their product might be pre-tariff, part of their product might be
Correct.
post-tariff, and
Right.
they're probably not going to take the time on the shelf to separate the two, right? Like
Right.
Yeah.
they're going to mark it all up to the post-tariff price, and so
Correct.
Right. it
like you
would
guys
be
mentioned,
their
like
benefit.
now's the time to take advantage of if you want to buy stuff.
Yeah.
Right now,
Lock
with
in
what
those
stuff's already in
prices.
stock and is already here, those prices are going to be set probably,
Yeah.
and it's going to be the new product coming. That's going to have those price adjustments more than likely. So.
Yeah.
Who knew
Yeah.
February 2025 would be the biggest fireworks month, fireworks
Right.
buying month of the year?
Right?
We're about to be absolutely swamped.
Get all your
Yeah.
group buys in.
Yeah.
Get your
Yeah.
group buys in.
Get your group buys in.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Ay, ay, ay. So,
Yay! Oh. Yeah, no, it is unfortunate. I don't know. I wonder. I'm honestly interested to know or to think about, like, going forward, how the suppliers or wholesalers are gonna continue to try to cut costs
Yeah.
on the product, whether that be the quality or the packaging or anything like that. So I'm interested. I'm just, keeping an eye on
yeah.
the whole importing industry and seeing how.
Because unfortunately,
that's gonna
like,
shape up.
the goods to build fireworks are not going down in
Yeah.
China at all. And, I mean,
You can't find
yeah.
most of that stuff in the States.
No, you can't. Yeah.
No,
And-
like the chemicals you just can't find here. I mean,
Yeah, and I know even when during the COVID when shipping prices were exponential. I mean, I think we seen them. I don't know what 76 was seeing, but I think we were seeing upwards of $50,000 just in shipping
Oh, yeah.
from
Yeah, we
China,
were too.
right? And I was talking to Brian, my manager, and he's like, I mean, even to get this stuff produced in the States, it still costs more
Yeah.
because of all the legalities and the stuff that the U.S. government has implemented for safety and regulation and stuff. It still would cost more to build here than paying all those extra prices. So, yeah, I don't know.
There's no good answer.
There's
good
really no
solution.
good answer.
Not good.
No. So,
Yep.
All right, so
Sucks.
I have a
Yeah.
couple burning questions here. I have a couple burning questions for Sam. Like,
Okay.
So here's one that's always intrigued me. We want to know about your roller derby history and like how you got involved in that and how that works. Like, we all want to know.
That's also a really good question. Has nothing to do with Pyro, but at the same time, it's weirdly, I don't know. It kind of is similar. I feel like I'm like a thrill junkie or something, because I'm like fireworks and drones and roller derby and what else? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't do anything that's boring, apparently. No, yeah, I started. I joined a local roller derby group a few years ago. I guess this is my third season now with it. And I really just joined because they had a beginners program, and I really wanted to. I loved skating as a kid, and I
Okay,
really
yeah.
just wanted to get better at skating, and then I got hooked.
Yeah.
And I met a lot of really awesome people, and I became friends with them, and it's a whole community, and I like gained like 40 best friends basically in a matter of months. And it's a lot of fun. It was really intimidating. It still is intimidating because everyone is a lot bigger than me, but I'm actually not the smallest person on the team.
Yeah.
There are a few small people on the team, and there's like a good position and strategies for small people, but I'm definitely one of the smallest, and so everyone's like, "Are you sure you play roller derby?" No, it's a lot of fun, and so the group I'm with is the league is called Como Roller Derby, and it's based in Columbia, Missouri, even though there's not a track in Columbia.
Okay.
So we practice most of the time in Hallsville, and we've got games, a few games in the spring, a few games in the fall, and I play in those games, and I don't do great, but it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
No, it's a good time, and it's a really, really awesome community to be a part of.
Yeah.
It's very similar to a Pyro club, actually. Very, very
Yeah,
similar.
very
A lot
tight-knit
of
community.
Similar type of personalities.
Yeah.
We actually had we did. So I'm on the marketing committee for this for this roller derby league, and we organized a headshots day because we all have to take kind of professional headshots for like about programs and things. And our theme for this year's headshot day was definitely not a cult. And so, and it's totally true. It's totally not a cult, and that's kind of how I feel about Pyro groups as well, especially K-Cap. Totally not a cult.
No, not at all.
No.
Just a bunch of people who really are really passionate about this one thing, and spend all their money on it and all their time on it, and can't stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so the other one I think you wrote down, Donnie, when are you looking at, are you going to ever get into scripting shows?
I have dabbled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would really like to actually like script and produce, like fully produce shows. Especially for 7.6 Pro line. I have dabbled. I've used Finale a few times, but my biggest thing is I'm a Mac user, and Finale is not very Mac friendly.
Yeah.
I know that it's possible, but yes, hopefully this year I'll dive more into that. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, most definitely.
I really like it because like I'm totally like the creative type, and I can't listen to anything on Spotify, any of my playlists, without thinking about Pyro musicals and thinking of how I would script it. So I'm constantly scripting in my head. But yeah,
sounds like something that somebody in a cult would say, right?
Yeah,
right.
It's funny. I was on a phone call earlier, and I was explaining to him that, like, I went on vacation to get away from fireworks last week. I went on a cruise. And out of all places, I'm sitting there watching a water show, like an aqua show, and their soundtrack, I'm like, why am I sitting here thinking that this is like the best soundtrack in the world for a Pyro musical right now? Like,
because you're giving your brain a rest, and that's your subconscious saying this would be a really good.
You got to do this. So I saved all the songs already. It's on a playlist in YouTube. So I've been. I don't know. Just gotta find the show that's played, use it on. So
yeah.
But
Sam for Pro-Am. We're gonna sign Sam up for Pro-Am coming up.
Sam for Pro-Am.
That would be a conflict of interest, I think. I'll do the unlimited. How about that? I'll have Dan Haynes set it up.
All right. Let's get to Discord questions. With the whole world of graphical media representation out there, why Pyro?
Ooh. That's a good question. Although I'm not really sure I understand the question of the whole world of like,
Of like all the genres of graphical media,
Yeah.
I guess. Why pyro and why not a different medium?
That's a really good question. I never set out to do promotions for pyrotechnics. I really didn't. And whenever I started with Spirit of 76, they were like, yeah, we could use someone. And then I go to all these events, and every company I talk to is like, yeah, we could use someone. Yeah, we could use someone.
Yeah.
We don't like no one in our company has any of this knowledge of like marketing or design or anything like that. And it's so wild to me because it's such a visual medium
Yeah.
that more people aren't. I don't know. It's just such a niche, and it was never actually my intention, but I'm really glad that I stumbled upon it because I think I don't know, it's a really good niche to specialize in.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have never have guessed beforehand that like a lot of people in the industry need marketing help or anything, or have that that gap in like their employment or anything like that, because most of the people get into pyro for pyro, and they want to be the hands-on, they want to shoot, they want to sell, they want to do all of those other things, they want to create, they want to build, but so few people who are interested in pyro are actually interested in like sharing what they do with, or like interested in like recording it or documenting it or anything and sharing it with the world, and actually knowing how to do that and having the time to do it. So it's just so wild to me how, I don't know, like this there's so many opportunities for marketing in this industry. And so to answer that question is because there's so much opportunity, and I just kept getting offered jobs, so how could I say no?
For sure.
It's job security for sure. But it's also just so fun. It's like, it's one of the most interesting industries to be a part of.
It's a roller coaster. Like there's so many highs and so many lows, and
absolutely,
like literally can have highs and lows in the same day. Like
It's that full range of emotions, and being able to kind of capture that in video and photos, I think is the cool aspect of that.
Most definitely.
100%. And anytime that I even consider, I'm like, maybe I should like dabble in something else, do something other than like outdoor entertainment, and then I see like an amazing pyro musical that makes me want to cry, and I'm like, no, it's got me, I'm hooked.
All right, we'll dive into some final thoughts here as we kind of start to kind of wrap things up a little bit here.
All right.
Any advice for young girls or ladies out there that are maybe into pyro but they don't really know how to like jump in and get their hands into it?
Do it now. Just ask questions, be annoying, ask questions. Am I doing this right? The easiest way to get into pyro is to join a club.
Yes.
Find your local pyro club. If you're too young to join a club, beg your parents or someone, an older friend who can get you some access. Maybe I don't know. Join a club. Ask questions. Bother people until you get the answers, and someone's gonna be like, okay, this kid's real passionate about it, really wants to get some hands-on experience and learn, and they're gonna give you an opportunity. Someone will,
most
because
definitely will.
Everyone in pyro is passionate about it and wants to share. Pretty much everyone wants to share their knowledge and share their passion especially with the younger generation, because we're the ones who are going to pass the torch.
Correct.
No pun intended. But
exactly.
just be involved. Get involved. It's not intimidating once you start into it, and it's honestly fascinating.
Yeah, most definitely. I know we touched on this a little bit earlier, but what is your bucket list pyro event that you still want to attend?
I did say Malta. So that's probably still my
Yeah.
bucket list pyro
Yeah.
event, and I need a list. I need like like a laundry list of all the pyro
hiatus of
events.
places to go.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I'm sure there's more. I think there's one in Mexico that also looked really, really amazing. Their fireworks festival.
Yeah.
And then there's like the international fireworks
Yes.
festival.
Like
Yeah.
PIPC and so many.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's so many. It just take me out of the States. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's do
Spend a
it.
year in China just watching their elaborate pyro musicals that are miles long.
Yeah, right. That would be
I really want to go to London for New Year's, as well as Dubai.
Yes.
I want to go to those two countries and see that. Yeah, I don't know. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So
It would be.
yeah.
It would be iconic. Absolutely.
Could you make? I don't know. Is that possible? Could you do that in one day? Like technically in one day, go to London
I
and
don't
then
know.
go to
That's a
Dubai,
good question.
or vice versa?
London to Dubai might be a little bit challenging. You could
Potentially.
do like you could do Sydney because
Yeah.
Sydney is like 18 hours ahead.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
you could fly backwards across the date line, and you'd be in the United States, and it would be like noon. You'd still have a whole day.
Yeah. Huh.
There you go.
Huh.
Plan that New Year's tour.
Yeah. The New Year's
Every
tour.
city on Earth.
Interesting.
We did get a last minute Discord question come in there.
Seconds
Oh.
ago, literally.
Yeah. Travis Kramer, he wants to know,
Travis.
what's your favorite Sky Wars show or moment?
Oh man. I can't be biased on here because he's right here. But Donnie, when in 2023,
There's only one right answer. There's only one right answer.
Oh yeah, right. I mean, it was like we had a downpour.
Yeah.
And we couldn't do anything. And your show, this like record-breaking Cobra show that was gonna be like absolutely spectacular, had all these fancy things in it, had to be postponed a full day.
Yeah.
Everyone was heartbroken. I remember standing out there in the pouring rain, in the media box with Firecat 8 and Matt Hovey or Hovey, and we were just like standing there in the pouring rain covering all our camera equipment, and we're just like, okay, so they're gonna like shoot it afterwards, right? After everyone's gone, right? And we're like, no.
Yeah.
And so we heard, I was like, absolutely, I'm coming back. If
Yeah.
you shoot it within the next like 48 hours, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
And so that was, I don't know. You can't replace any of that because there was just that moment of like KCAP is such a strong and like tightly knit group that I felt so bad for you guys, but also I was like, there's no one, like no group stronger that could do this. Plus you guys are only a handful of hours away, so it's
Yeah.
pretty convenient. And then when you guys shot the show, and there was like 20 or 30 minutes leading up to it where it just wasn't going, and I had the live stream going, and I had to like step like 10 feet back and like ball my hands up and fists up because I was so anxious that it wasn't
Yeah.
gonna go. I was anxious for you guys, and then it went. It was like the biggest like relief.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it was seriously one of the coolest shows I've actually ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And it got me in the feels too, some of those
Yeah.
things. I'm not even like a big Swiftie, but it got me in the feels because some of those songs, like all of our songs are catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely an iconic Sky Wars moment. And it's also hilarious because it was all the attendees hated us for doing it the next
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Even though there's absolutely no way we would
Yeah.
have been able to do it
Yeah.
on Saturday. There was absolutely no way that we would have been able to bring everyone else out. So the only thing we could do is like do a live stream and not tell anyone that it was happening until it was
Yeah.
happening. That was the safest way to do it.
Yeah.
So, don't listen to the haters, but that was a really, really powerful moment when like also just seeing how many people showed up on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, it
to
was
shoot-
crazy.
to
It
watch
was,
the
yeah,
show.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very emotional and also just like a very, very happy ending because that show
Yeah.
was phenomenal.
Yeah. And honestly,
It also-
had I known that the rain was so stinking close, I would have told everybody
Oh,
that I was
yeah.
canceling I would have postponed mine too, you know.
We could have done away with the drone show. We could have I don't know.
Yep.
We could have spread it out.
There's been lots of conversations about that night. Lots
Oh,
of
yeah.
conversations about
Oh, yeah.
how that night should have went, but
We can't control the weather. We
no,
can
no, we can't control it. Yeah.
I
And I
mean,
gotta
SEMA
think
had
I don't know how much they
weather.
spent on the drone show, but maybe that was their I don't know. I don't know if that was the
No,
deciding
yeah.
factor. Oh well,
Yeah.
we spent more on the drone show than this other show. So
I
again,
don't know.
It doesn't
I don't
really
think
matter.
it was. I think it
I
was
don't
kind
think-
of
I don't
like
think- yeah.
we got to rush through all
Yeah,
of this
we
stuff.
just gotta
and,
go.
the last show.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's. It was kind of like they had National Weather Service basically on the phone the whole time, and they were like, "You're good. You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not good."
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
I was even in communication with him, and we were and he was like, "Yeah, you have to rush through it so Donnie can get his show off." And I was like, "Okay." And it was again, had I known that the rain was right there, I would have told him no. I wanted to wait, because I mean there was, yeah, it just sucks. Nothing you can do to go
it's
back, right?
Absolutely nothing you could have done about
Yeah.
it, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it worked out because the following day it was much better weather and that show was crazy awesome. And David, at least you got some really awesome there were some really really cool captures with that lightning strike hitting. And
Yeah, I think somebody won the.
It was miles away, but it looked like it was hitting fireworks.
Yeah, it did look like it struck that shell. So it was a lot of fun.
So honestly, that was also
Yeah.
an iconic moment,
Yeah.
all wrapped in one. Both of your
Yeah.
guys' shows were
Yeah, I had a higher
incredibly
power
iconic.
in
Yeah.
my show. Yeah, I had a lot of people asking me how to get lightning strike pyro, so I don't know what to.
Gonna have to recreate that somehow.
Yeah. But
And then, where will Sam be at next?
yes.
Well, depending on when this airs,
You will probably have
Cobra
just
Con?
left. You have
Yeah.
probably just left when
Yeah.
weather
Yeah.
play out.
Winter Blast, and then Cobra Con. I'll be
Yeah.
at Cobra Con,
Perfect.
Okay.
and then I'll be at the 76 demo in April.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah, so Cobra Con first, though.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys,
Is
but
that
I'm,
is that what you meant by that question?
yes.
Or
Yeah. Yeah.
existentially, where will I be?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
I'll be at Cobra Con in a couple
Yeah.
months.
I think it's like 68 days away, something like that already.
Yeah.
64 or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that what
We've
the
been-
email said this morning? Yeah.
Is that what? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, going fast. It's going way too fast, and
Yeah, it is.
yeah, I go into work
All right.
and that's pretty much all I think about
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, so we have our Pyro Unleashed final 5 questions. So these 5 questions, we're asking everybody the same 5 questions this year. At the end of the season, we'll probably have some kind of montage where we kind of compile them all together just to kind of see what everybody's responses were. It's very curious to kind of see how people respond. You get a lot of similar answers, which is very interesting. And so they're mostly Pyro related. So it should be fairly simple for you. Just
Okay.
first thing kind of comes to mind, but they're fun. So question 1, what's your favorite consumer cake?
Okay, so I did just listen to your guys' episode that you had out, so I prepared these questions
Wrote them down.
in the last hour. Favorite consumer cake. I love color, so I'm gonna go with, and of course I only know 76 products because that's all I know. So I'm gonna go with the 105 shot multicolor zipper cake from 76 show series now. Previously 76 Pro Line consumer. It is not a Pro Line cake. It is
Okay.
a consumer cake.
Yeah.
It just shoots all these comets and super colorful comets and a zipper cake, and it's 5 seconds long, and it's totally not worth the money, but it is beautiful.
Yeah. I've used a few of those in some shows. So they're really nice.
I shouldn't say it. It's worth the money. It just goes really fast. And it just goes fast. But it's really cool.
So the next question is probably be an obvious one for you. If you had to choose one for the rest of your life, are you choosing 1.4 or 1.3 product?
What if I said 1.3?
You could.
I don't know.
I have not messed with 1.3 at all. So I would definitely say 1.4. What would be hard is picking between 1.4 Consumer and 1.4 Pro.
Yeah.
Because of the changing landscape. But if I had to pick, I would probably go with 1.4 Pro, which is also like, I mean, people call it Baby B, so can you call it?
Yeah,
1.3?
sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people consider it 1.3. I don't know. Depends on where you are and depends on what the laws are. But I would say 1.4. Yeah, I'm definitely sticking with 1.4.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, number 3. If you could start your fireworks career over again, anything you would do differently?
Okay, this one I don't know my answer to. Let's see. I probably would have started like making my transition over to 7.6 Pro line sooner.
Okay.
So
right.
I wasn't, I don't know. I had a whole thing where I really liked like the retail side, and now I'm like,
Yeah.
shows are where it's at. So yeah, that's probably my answer. Is I would have transitioned over to the pro side a
Yeah.
lot sooner.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
interesting because so far everybody has mentioned earlier in their
Earlier,
responses.
doing something
earlier.
in fireworks early.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about working in this industry?
It's just a lot of fun. I love traveling, so that's a big benefit because you might hear my dog sneezing in the background, but I love traveling, so I love to be able to like go different places and see how they use fireworks. That's totally like a spoiled benefit of me being like being paid to watch fireworks essentially.
Yeah.
Is that I get to go to all these different events and different locations and meeting with suppliers but also meeting with customers and clients and seeing how they use fireworks and getting to experience that. So that would probably be one of my favorite aspects, but like on a less like spoiled note, it would just be like being around the people who
Yeah.
make fireworks really fun, and because that's kind of what fireworks are for, is like getting together and celebrating something.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, anything like that is definitely my favorite aspect of the industry.
Yeah.
Cool. And to wrap us up here, if you were a flavor of ice cream, what flavor would you be?
Mint chocolate chip.
Yes.
And,
So that's
and
why I've
why,
been waiting for
why,
somebody
why,
to say
and
that.
why mint chocolate
Because I'm
chip? Like,
cool. I don't know. Because it is one of my favorite flavors. And yeah. And it just tastes good. It makes me think of a nice hot summer day and cooling down with some mint chocolate chip ice cream. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why I am a mint chocolate chip ice cream. I just really like the flavor. It's different. How about that? It's different.
Right.
Different. There you go.
Perfect. All right. Well, we obviously want to say thank you again to Sam. Thank you for coming on and hanging out with us for the last. Actually, it's almost been 2 hours.
This is a record.
Yeah,
sorry.
This will be our longest episode ever.
No need to go.
This is our longest. This will be our longest
just
episode
tell
ever.
Riverside you need to shorten it to like an hour 30 or something.
No.
That's for you.
No.
We don't do any editing. We just pop it out there.
Yeah. No. It's just no. We do edit it.
Good for you guys. You should definitely cut out at least half of what I say.
But yeah, for sure, go check out our website, pyrounleashedpodcast.com. I think this might be the last episode that you'll be able to go out and buy some merch to be able to wear it at CobraCon, to be able to get it in time. So go get your gear.
I've got a little wager out there. If somebody
There is a
shows up
wager.
with wearing some Pyro Unleashed merch, I might have something for you. So
Where is your merch? I don't see either of you wearing any merch. What's your favorite piece of merch? Hats, shirts?
See, I'm
keychains,
rocking the hat or the flag behind us.
Oh, you do have the
Yeah,
flag.
see?
There you go.
I have a nice purple hoodie that's got the embroidered
I
logo
do
on the
like
front
that
of it. and-
purple. Like I didn't think I would like it when you sent it to me.
Yeah.
I was like, and then you
That's my
you got
favorite.
it in. It looks really good.
Yeah, that's what I wore for the yesterday.
Just soft too. I love a good
So.
soft.
Yeah, there were, yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. We've
Actually,
got
I
a
was
lot of
just
nice,
looking at
lot
my
of
hoodie
nice
the other day.
soft Bella canvas shirts out there. So
Perfect.
it's
Yeah.
Those are the
so
best.
somebody wants to show up wearing something, might have a little something for you. So
Yeah.
Hey,
For sure. And
gotta go buy mine now.
yeah. And as always, jump in our Discord. It should be linked in the bio. I mean, even as we were sitting here recording, people are putting up questions to ask Sam, and
yeah.
everybody's hanging out over there and talking. So, yeah, with that, I think that's
Yeah.
pretty much a wrap.
Yeah, with that, yeah. Thanks, Sam, for coming on and joining us.
For
And
sure.
glad you got to be a part of this and to really kind of kick off this Women in Pyro kind of thing that we
Yeah.
want to kind of push. And really loved your view on everything. Like
Yeah,
you
most
said,
definitely.
you said you're not like in a lot of the shows, but you have a lot of pyro
Yeah.
energy and pyro knowledge. And
Yeah.
we were very honored to have you on tonight to
Yeah.
kind of share some of your stories with us.
It's definitely not a cult, you guys. It's not.
It's
a cult.
not a cult.
It's not a cult. It's not a cult.
Thank
And
you guys so much for having
yeah.
me. It
Yeah.
was a lot of fun to talk with you guys.
yeah. And so again, we will see you all coming up at CobraCon, and then we will see you all next week on the next episode.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, go out there and unleash your inner pyro with us.
This has been another episode of Pyro Unleashed. Come back each week for more industry insights, technical tips, and awesome pyro designs. Have fun out there, be safe, and as always, remember to unleash your inner pyro with us.